it's Chris, and today I want to talk about legacy devices. I've got a bunch of old computer devices that I no longer use because the computer they were hooked up to died, or the laptop died, or the Arduino died, or the service that I was pushing the data to is no longer in existence. But these are still really good devices. This is a lightning detector, this is an air quality monitor. So I'm going to work on showing you how to make a project where we're going to take this air quality monitor and we're going to hook it up to a Particle Photon microprocessor that's a Wi-Fi, and we're going to show you how to push that data to the internet and then write a cell phone app so you can access it. So let's take a look. I've had this Dylos air quality monitor since about 2012. It's been a real workhorse. It's a true laser particle counter. It actually does two different size particles. One that's just particles greater than a micron, and the other one is greater than 5 microns. On the side it has a DB9 RS232 port. Then it outputs data once a minute, and then on the back it has a chart telling you what the different sort of rough references for particle counts to the quality of the air. For this project I'm going to use a Particle Photon microprocessor that has Wi-Fi built in. It's powered over a micro USB connector, and it has several pins of I/O, both analog and digital. We're going to need a way to convert the RS232 signals to TTL level signals on the microprocessor. And so several companies make little converter boards that convert that down to just ground voltage and transmit and receive. But we're also going to have to convert the sex of this. These are female both on both sides. So we're going to need a little no modem to connect the two. This is the part that I designed to hold the components. This part has holes for the particle chip pins and an area left open so I can put connectors on. These two holes hold the TTL to serial adapter, and then this part here is where the no modem comes out. And I made a cover for it so you can see where the connector, DB9 connector, comes out, and then also there's a place for the power to go in over here. I just picked up a second 3D printer from Prusa. It's a Prusa Mini. They're only $350, and I'm using some PETG material that's the clear kind, and I just printed the part that's going to hold the other components. Let's see how it goes together. The particle chip just goes in this connector on the back here. Just slides in, and I've left access to several of the pins that I need to get to. We're going to connect the no modem with the little converter board. Screw that together. And that's going to go in the board here. There's two holes that hold it, and we have nuts that go on here. You can see on this one, this is one I've put together already. I've got the power wires and the transmit receive wires going from the microprocessor to the converter board. And then I made this clear case that goes on here. And so the power cable can snap in, but you can still see the LEDs through the clear plastic. It's kind of cool. When we plug it in, you'll see the LEDs light up. So the particle chip is trying to find the network, and then once it starts blinking sort of this on and off of cyan, then you know it's connected. And then the red is just showing you that the TTL converter is working. We've plugged our little box into the DB9 connector. And so we're finished with the hardware, and now we can go take a look at the software. The particle development environment is web-based, and when you start a new program, it just has two functions, setup and loop. So we'll start there. This program's only about a page long, and it has 3 different sort of sections. The first area defines some libraries. Very importantly, you have to put in the key that you get from the Blink application. They send you email with a key that goes here. And then there's some global variables. The second area is the setup function, which starts the serial port and brings up the authorization to access Blink. The third part is the loop function, where the program spends most of its time just going around in circles waiting for a line to come from the air quality monitor once a minute. So it just loads in the line and then sends it off to be processed. The final part is what we do when we get a line from the air quality monitor. We pull out the small and large particle numbers and we send the data to the two virtual pins, V0 and V1, and then we send information to the LCD, where we decide, using sort of the rules of thumb that are on back of the sensor, what is excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, or very poor air quality. To develop a new Blink app, you just bring it up on your phone and you hit New Project. You have to name it, so you could say Test. You have to pick out what processor you're using, and we're using a Particle Photon. We're connecting by Wi-Fi. We're going to leave the interface dark versus bright, and then you just hit Create Project. So now we have a blank slate here, and we're going to want to start a couple of things. So we're going to go add 2 gauges. So we're going to add a gauge. We're going to add a second gauge. We want to add a display. And we want to add a chart. And we can move these around if we want the order to be different, we can move them around. Just hold it down and you can move it. So now we have our app that has 2 gauges, a graph, and an LCD display. So now we have to configure these, and you can specify the name of it, but the more important thing is we're going to select the pin, and we're using virtual pins, and like small particles is on our virtual pins V0. We hit OK. Then we can hit the second one, where again we're going to use virtual gauges, and we're going to use V1. Hit OK. And then we're going to specify the graph. And this one we want to show 2 things. So we're going to specify the first graph is going to be a solid graph. We're going to use virtual pin V0. And then go back and we're going to add another data stream. And this one's going to be pin virtual V1. Say OK. And then, so we've got that set up. And now we just want to set up the LCD, and we're going to use the advanced display. And again, this one where you're going to use a virtual, and we'll use V2 for that. So now we've got the display laid out and we've told it where to get the data. So then it's just a matter of running it. So until you copy the key into your code and compile your code and start running the processor, it will just show you that here it's not connected, and it's telling you that this particular particle processor is not online yet. Here I have the air quality sensor running on the left, and I have the iPhone app running on the right. It's actually on my iPad, so it's a little bit bigger so you can see it. But it's running the Blink app, and it's showing that it's the air quality sensor. And I have two different gauges here, one for the small particles that are greater than a micron, and one that's for the large particles that are greater than 5 micron. And I have a graph that's running, and you can specify the range of the graph and look at different time periods. And then down at the bottom, I have, using the rule of thumbs that are on the back of the air quality monitor, it's telling you what the relative air quality is. So hopefully this has shown you that it's not too hard to connect an old legacy device to a Wi-Fi processor and then view the data on your cell phone. So if you like this project, hit like and subscribe, and have a great day.